Today is Wednesday, October 17th, 2018. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor David vs. Goliath, Episode 4.
That's right. We're in Week 4. This episode title was Time to Bring About the Charm Apocalypse, spoken by our boy Christian.
Okay. 3 out of 4.
Yep. He is the namer. Yep.
What does that say, though? That's just so odd. I don't think they've ever done that, have they?
I know Dominic had a lot of them last season. I don't remember how many in total, but I remember he had quite a few. But I don't think it says anything other than Christian's good at giving them catchy little lines they can use for titles.
Okay.
Previously on Survivor, despite winning immunity, there's trouble at the David tribe. B was hurt. She has sprained her MCL. Quite a setback. Over on the Goliath tribe, Natalie's definitely rubbing some of the tribe the wrong way. Angelina's got another idea for who needs to go, though, and it's Jeremy. And she gets her way, Probst tells us. So if there was any fuzziness around that whole thing about who's going to get credit for the Jeremy boot, Probst nails it down for us and says, hey, it's Angelina.
There you go.
Day 10, this is going to be a 2-day cycle for this episode, so it'll go day 10, day 11. We come in at what looks like a challenge that's got a water element. Both tribes come in, and then we get some bad news from B. Bad news B.
You think she didn't tell her tribe about it before she got there?
I think she did, yeah.
Okay.
Just to answer your question, we don't know. We'd have to ask her or ask someone from her tribe, but yeah. I see so much of what people do now as part of reactions and stuff. So, like, they know that they're on camera. It's hard not to. If you've ever seen the scenes when they're filming them when they come in like that, I know in some of the past pictures we've seen, there's just an array of cameras. The video cameras and still cameras is like an army of cameras lined up in front of them. So.
Yeah, I think they can forget about it, like when they're just around camp, and it's just they get so used to it to a degree. Yeah. But when they know they're on, especially for a challenge, and they're supposed to
or there's
get
a reaction.
Up, yeah.
The David tribe sees that Jeremy was voted out, so Gabby goes, and big mouth, agape look. Yes.
Gotta have the reaction. Well, that makes for better TV. They all know that. Everybody knows that.
So it turns out that B isn't willing to forgo that sprain, given that she's a mixed martial arts fighter. We're told she is an athlete, and therefore she's not going to hang around with a sprained MCL. Unlike, who was it you said last time? Amy Cusack. Yeah, who played out her game with a torn ACL.
Yep. Sweet Amy. Well, Amy's always been sweet to us.
Yeah, she wasn't that sweet in Vanuatu, though. Yeah.
No, but we've just always had a connection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, B
So what did
quits.
you think about that?
About B quitting?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't that surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think about it ahead of time that she might actually quit, but I really thought she could get sent home. I was not putting her safe this week because I thought, oh, she's injured, new tribe, and she'd just be the most natural to pick off if her tribe loses.
A lot of talk about that in the listener feedback show for sure on Saturday, but I bucked the trend and went, oh no, she's safe. She's going to get a pass somehow.
All right,
all this.
Good job.
Yeah, so immediately lost a safe point. Thank you, B.
You got smacked.
I guess I'm a little torn about that. No, that's not good, huh? Torn MCL. The whole B quitting thing. I've never been a fan of quitters. And you knew you were taking a risk when you came out there that you might get physically injured. And you make your living from your physicality. So, I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't have been out there to begin with.
I don't think of it that way. She didn't go out there planning to be injured, and
but you know
she's
that
had
it's a
injuries,
risk.
and well, everything's a risk. She could have injured it at home. Could tripped over a rug or the dog or whatever.
We've seen shoulders get popped out, toes broken.
Yeah, and you want them to hang in there. I'm like, that's her career, her livelihood.
That's my point. She probably had no business being out there to begin with. It's too big of a risk.
You have to think about it, but at her age, you think you're invincible?
Probably. Although, I'm sure she's been beat on enough that she's gotten past that at this point.
Most of us thought we were invincible at her
Everybody's
age.
got a plan until they get punched in the face, and I'm pretty sure B's been punched in the face. So,
well, even I've been punched in the face.
Okay. Somehow
the chin,
it ended up being about Joanne.
I was in the chin once.
Angelina, Probst goes to Angelina as the narrator of the moment, and she tells us how it was had to be a hard decision for B.
Yeah.
And she truly wishes B didn't have to go, given all that's at stake. And Davie responds to Probst's questions, telling him that this will just make us stronger, because the Davids are just getting beat down.
I kind of liked how Probst's like, yeah, okay, and go on out there and wait for a boat. We'll get you a boat. And all right, let's go. Drop your buffs. It's like, okay.
So a little bit of a surprise. We talked about the possibility of a 3-tribe split. We didn't think it was as likely, but here we are, 3 tribes.
Well, I actually didn't want one, but oh well. But I didn't know that one of the numbers was gonna. I thought, what is that? 6, 6, and 5
We covered the whole deal about how someone goes to exile and comes back.
Was different,
and it ended up being exactly what we discussed.
Well, the numbers worked out better after B left, though, to do that.
Well,
so
don't you think?
What do you think they would have done if she'd stayed? How are they planning to handle it?
Now that's an interesting question. We talked about how the things are mapped out. Then the question becomes, prior to the season airing, the question becomes, to what level of detail are they mapped out? Was it mapped to a 3-way split, or was it just mapped as a split? So it could have gone 2 or 3. And then with her going, numbers-wise, it just all worked out better to go to 3.
Well, I think they had to have had it mapped out that way because they had the buffs.
It's
and the
very
flags.
Yeah. Well, they can cover those
and
eventualities.
The beach scouted out and the whole.
Had the location.
They were prepared and ready.
That's a good point. Those are all excellent points in favor of.
Thank you very much.
This was very well planned in that sense. So well, like we've said before, they make it work. So let's talk about the 3 new tribes.
Maybe they would have left the other person. One would go and join, and the other one have to stay at exile.
We've got the Vuku tribe in orange. That's Natalia, Cara, Alec from the Goliaths, and Davie and Elizabeth from the Davids. And then Jabeni in the purple. So at the Goliaths beach, and that's Natalie, Mike, Angelina, Lyrsa, and Nick. And then the new Tiva tribe in green, and that's John, Dan, Alison, Christian, and Gabby. And they've got to start over. They're the ones who have to build a new shelter.
Well, the preview video, like yesterday, gave it away that there was going to be 3 because
you saw the new color of the buff.
Well, yeah, it was obvious even in the picture for the video before you even click on it. It's a green
sometimes
buff.
the pictures are color corrected and you can't make out things for certain. But in that
and
case,
it was in the clip. It was
right.
You couldn't tell what color it was, but going into it, it was obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And it even had the Tiva tribe name on that. So
Dan tells us he's bummed that he's not near his ladies. So I guess Alison didn't count. It's one of the ladies he wanted to be near.
Oh, he'll be even more depressed when he sees one of his ladies are gone.
Mm-hmm. And Carl did not get a buff, so he is off to Exile Island. He will
no buff for you.
Rejoin at Tribal Council for whatever tribe loses at the Immunity Challenge.
Wouldn't that be a strange feeling? You open it up and go, I don't have a buff.
Yeah, you think it's like that feeling you get when your car's, something's been taken from you, your car's not where you parked it, or...
I don't know if it's exactly like that. I think I would go into more confusion of, what does this mean?
Well, it
What's
certainly
gonna happen?
caused his jaw to drop and hang open for quite a while. He was letting the flies in.
Yep.
Okay, so he's off to Exile Island.
Okay, here was my thing was they really didn't give very much information away, just that little bit. And Gabby got on my nerves in that little preview clip because she just has been crying so much and not in just a crying voice, but just whining. And so that's why I chose her to go. I was like, oh, I can't take that whining. And I thought she and Christian are on a tribe together. But I didn't know who the Goliaths would be. And then when I saw, when they did the bus, I thought, oh, geez. Because I thought, oh, they'll probably lose. I'm going to go for Gabby. And then John and Dan are on there, and Alison, who's also good.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well. And then I looked at the tribe Natalie was on, and I thought, oh, no. I went in and told you, I went stupid bold this week. I'm going to get a point off of Natalie unless she goes home. Or I'll take one for the team so Natalie will go home.
Trying Paul's strategy.
I'm doing a Paul strategy.
Yeah.
So, but...
Okay, Christian right out of the gate flubs the whole Slam Town concept, but John gets him back on track without embarrassing him. And, yeah, we look at the tribes. What did you think about how it panned out? 3 Goliaths, 2 Davids, every tribe.
Well, when the numbers aren't there, but you would think occasionally they would, like get a tribe that had 4 Davids and 1 Goliath, or, that it would mix up better than that. Because it is a random draw. And those
Should
things, they had buffs for one tray for the men and 1 tray for the women, because there's 9 women, or there were 9 women left. Now it's 8 and 8. But, so they had different trays for them, but I don't know. That just seems like, come on. It could shake out a little better than that. That happens too much. That the dominating tribe dominates all 3 tribes.
The shuffle, yeah.
Yeah, but I really thought the weakest tribe would be the one with Lyrsa, Nick, Mike, Natalie, and Angelina.
Yeah, I think Mike covers that when we get to that section. So, yeah, Tiva's got a new beach, the tribe named after my sandals, although it's not quite spelled that way.
Oh. It's Tiva's, not Tiva.
Tiva. It's an I instead of an E.
Yeah, it sounds like Tiva.
Christian, I think this is probably a first. I doubt anyone has ever dropped gerrymandered in the context of a Survivor discussion, but he managed to work that in his description of what had happened to these tribes where the Davids are once again outnumbered.
Okay.
Well,
that was a mouthful.
Yeah, well, how often do you get to talk about gerrymandering outside of politics? It never would have occurred to me that it had come up in Survivor. So kudos to you, Christian, for working that in.
All right. Elizabeth and Kara are getting along, have some things in common.
Over at Vuku, yeah.
Natalia is not liking it.
Get to see a different version of Natalia this episode.
I've seen that version before, even in her pre-show interviews. But,
no, I don't think they've really shown that much of this, what we got to see this time in her
I remember having that
episodes.
feeling that I thought she was...
Yeah.
Well, you could tell she felt very secure, and that she couldn't care less about Elizabeth or really anything. She did make an effort. Oh, I wish I had a horse, but, she still wasn't interacting, and you could tell she was observing, getting a little paranoid, and really not liking it. And
the fact that Cara and Elizabeth seemed to be hitting it off so well.
Well, and that she hit Cara up with it the minute they got off, on the beach, just like, hey, a little too friendly with her, aren't you? Kind of. I was thinking, whoa, wait a minute. I'm playing my game.
Yeah, Natalia is the boss of you, Cara. Did you forget that?
Well, she left her boss lady, Natalie, behind, so.
Alec tells us he's happy. They've got a lock with these 3 Goliaths. It's super simple. And as far as Davie's concerned, it's all pretty messed up. But he's got things working in his favor as the black nerd with the PT Cruiser. Although he tells us he hadn't had a lot of Caucasian friends, then he's going to find a way, and we see him reaching out and connecting with Alec as they head out to go spear something, get some food.
Well, I was trying to look at the spear. I never did see if it was a bit one. But it wouldn't be. They were on they're the orange tribe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So hopefully their spear was still in good working order.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get a look at it to see.
No, they didn't show the tip of it. So yeah, like you mentioned, Elizabeth and Carr are really hitting it off, talking about horses and religion and connecting on multiple levels there. And it freaks Natalia out. And Cara shared that with Alec too.
Well, and that's your first inkling of trouble.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cut to Exile Island there. Still on day 10. We see that Carl gets a clue. What?
Carl has nobody to talk to.
Oh yeah, he's really alone, huh?
No telephone, no nothing.
He tells us as a truck driver, you would think he was alone a lot, but really he's not, because he's always reaching out on the phone or just going in to talk to folks at a truck stop so that he gets that human connection.
CBN, telephone.
This has got him in a different space out there by himself with a camera crew following him around. Not completely alone, but okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so he gets a clue. It's time to look for some coconuts.
Well, it's lucky he didn't hurt himself out there. I thought.
So they do cut to a scene of the advantage coconut in the water, but that's not where it is when he finds it, because that would have been too risky for them to let it. I mean, I think what they meant by you needed to find it in time is if the tide came in, it could get to it. But for him to get it, I think it was planted on the beach the whole time. That scene with it floating in the water that they cut to, because you don't see him in the frame.
And then they put it
exactly, exactly right. So it seemed like it was a little more intense, because you really wouldn't want him out there like he was. He could have gotten hurt very easily there and knocked over and pulled out if he wasn't careful. So I don't think
especially in jeans.
They didn't intend. Yeah,
those suckers are heavy. When
did he have his? He probably had his boots on.
He had
still,
his boots
didn't he?
on.
And
don't you remember me saying,
hat.
"Couldn't you take your boots off and your jeans?"
That's a lot of water in those boots. People have gotten pulled under by their boots before. Yeah, so I don't think they really wanted him out there doing that, but it certainly made for a good shot. And then he does find the advantage coconut, and lo and behold, just as we had discussed, it is the nullifier advantage. Yeah.
Well, that's funny, though, that he didn't find it until he gave up. He's like, I give up. And he's like, oh, there it is. It's over there.
Sometimes you got to give up.
It's not in the water.
To get through, huh?
That's true.
Yep. And he's crying again. Okay, good job, Carl. Anything else you want to say about that?
Nope. Moving away from coral. Okay, the purple tribe, they're getting to know each other. Except, of course, Natalie.
They're getting to know how bossy Natalie is, yeah. She wastes no time alienating everyone.
Well, you guys don't have a leg to stand on. We're in control. Go fix me a fire. Yes. I couldn't believe how she was bossing Angelina. I seriously don't know how Angelina.
That's a testament to Angelina's gamesmanship, that she was willing
absolutely
to be subjected to more of that just so she could get Jeremy out.
Well, but, I think she played it very smartly. Let Natalie dig her own grave, and I'll sit here and because as soon as she walked off, they're like, is she like that all the time?
Yeah,
Yep.
Nick jumped right on it.
And worse.
She didn't hesitate. She had to answer either. Nick tells us after that little exchange, I see a crack in this alliance. There may be room for me yet. Mm-hmm. So he immediately makes a connection with Mike. So Mike didn't end up missing Jeremy too long. He's got a new buddy.
He got a new buddy.
Not only that, they're going to go ahead and name their alliance, which Nick is fond to do. And so they are the Rockstars Alliance. Little air guitar with
I remember him saying
strummed.
That now. I'd forgotten.
Yeah. And Mike's happy to share that Dan has an idol. He gives that away to Nick right away.
Well, he asked Nick, and obviously Nick doesn't know, or if he does know.
As far as we know, Davie's kept that to himself.
Yeah. But I was a little bit surprised that Mike didn't hesitate.
Yeah, he was happy to share.
I think he probably doesn't feel very solid on the old Goliath tribe, and that's why he's looking to make some new buddies.
Well, he was just looking at this tribe and saying, I need options for down the road for sure.
Yep.
Because he gave us his assessment of this tribe, and it wasn't promising. They are the David of the Davids, I think he described him as.
Alison just kind of faded away.
She's not featured this season. She's all but purple.
Well, but it could mean that she goes deep.
Sure.
Or it could mean that she's just not a big part of it.
Factor.
So time will tell.
But definitely, she had a confessional right at the very beginning in the first episode. She was one of the first ones that got to say some things after Jeff called her out for trying to pretend she was middle class and busted her chops over that.
Yep.
But, since then, we don't get to hear much from her. You have to go to extra videos to get any perspective on her game, what she thinks is going on. So far, she's the doofy one down that gets splashed by the ocean because she's not paying attention. That's like the sum of her story, that and doing okay in challenges, although she helped lose that last one that got Jeremy booted.
That Green was very lucky. They had John and Dan.
Yeah, they wasted no time. They looked like they really
got right on the shelter.
Yeah, really getting to it. And Christian was trying to be helpful, John and Dan tell us. And Christian tells us he has observed there are some stylistic differences to the chopping. One Christian's chopping not being effective. But Dan and John seem really patient, right? They're good-natured about the whole thing.
Dan came over and tried to help him. And
show him how to do it a little better.
Otherwise, it was a waste of time. And
Christian tells us it's all about charm now. He's trying to charm his way in.
Yep, therefore the title of the show this week.
Gets his Slamtown explanation from John, so now he's got a little bit of handle on what that actually means.
But did it surprise you that John kind of related to Christian's quirkiness and that he says, well, he's out there, but
I don't think it surprised me, but I was happy to see, I would say that. That was really good. I think it's a testament to just who John is, that he was willing to share, that he goes through those kinds of things and he feels that way. I'm not trying to compare myself to John, but I run out of things to small talk about pretty quick too.
In about 2.5 seconds.
I'm not a big gabber, so it's not uncommon for me to...
Honey, put your phone away.
Be in a gathering.
Rude.
Be in a gathering and not be talking.
So go in a restaurant here and you stick your nose in a phone, baby. That's rude.
Uh-huh.
You're like, I know you do it to me, but, if other people are around, put your phone in your pocket. So, yeah, you do that.
Okay.
I guess maybe we just bore you, or...
Well, I've always been of the mind that if I don't have anything to add, I'm not talking.
Yeah, you always have. I knew that about you from really early on. So, yeah.
Whether it's at home or work or
that's right.
Whatever.
And it's been 28 years, so I guess it didn't bother me too much. Just gave me more of an opportunity to chit-chat.
Yeah, well, I think
there
it worked.
You go.
It worked.
It worked for us.
Your favor, anyway.
What you used to love is, visiting your family, and you'd go, "You go, girl," because then you could just sit back and observe. And your grandmother got good information about what was going on in your life, so it worked.
Yep. John acknowledges that Christian's quirky, but he is too. And Gabby notices that Christian is vibing very well with his dude bros, she tells us. Okay, Gabby.
Okay.
And then Gabby fell into the holly hole. This is the holly hole that you were talking about before. Named after our friend Holly and her experience in Nicaragua.
Yeah, but Holly at least wasn't whiny. She had a meltdown. But a lot of people had that those first so many days. This is
Let's not give Holly a pass totally, though. Holly went a little nutso.
Yeah,
and
but
she threw away $1,000 plus pair of shoes.
She brought him some shoes at the finale. Come on.
Yeah, I don't think it was the same.
No, but she tried to make it up to him. So, but, okay, so.
She definitely fell in her own little holly hole.
Yeah, but it's the whininess
gallows
that gets me. The whininess just.
Well, I think part of it, too, is that we had higher expectations.
Well, and I felt like Gabby,
so she's just underwhelmed us.
To some degree, was still trying to manipulate through crying in tears
The pity
and
party?
whining. Yeah, and
The Eeyore pity
really
party
dislike
thing gets
that.
old quick, and if that's it, she's got one trick in her bag. Yeah,
Well, as soon as I saw that, I thought, yeah, Gabby to go this week. Sim ready. Yep. I don't want to hear
she's
that
worried because
ever
Christian's
again.
so much better at this than her, which tells you she has absolutely.
And I thought, hey, she may be right. Let's choose her.
She just got no sense of judgment when it comes to these things. Christian was fumbling his way through that, and not necessarily to his detriment, but what we get to observe is the difference is Christian was trying and Gabby was crying.
Well,
There's trying and crying.
But I have
You
to
get
give
different
her
results.
kudos for
Yeah.
she just got really into it during the challenge and was so very excited.
All right, I think Joanne's ready to move on to the challenge there on day 11.
I already did.
Community challenge plus reward.
You just like
Gabby
saying
comes
that.
in with a sad face.
I was just thinking of Liam when you said that.
Yeah, that's exactly why I said it.
I know, but it took me away for a second. Okay, so they had a caller. I thought they did pretty good. Gabby did good. Angelina did good. I don't think Cara was quite as good, but then it was Angelina that had to deal with Natalie.
Mm-hmm.
So who was pushing Cara? Alec and Davie. Okay.
Yep.
Well, they didn't do quite as good. You would have thought they would have done a little better, but oh well. But I'm quite sure everyone
Well,
wanted.
actually, they did very well. They came in second, so it was Angelina with Nick and Natalie that was.
Well,
so
they did
far
eventually,
behind, right?
but they didn't do as good.
Well, yeah, they got off track, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I liked that challenge. I thought that was a great twist on the whole collar challenge and the blindfolded.
No puzzle.
People doing
Well,
it.
I guess you could say a maze was a puzzle,
maze
but
puzzle.
it was different kind of puzzle. Wasn't something you had to put together. You just had to figure it out.
Yeah, this is both immunity and reward. The reward being brownies and pastries and the ability to
Coffee.
brew hot coffee. And also Probst tells us there's some iced coffee if that's your thing too.
Well, look how powerful our feedback people are. Who was it that was talking about wanting to see them get some sugar?
Sweets, yeah.
There you go. Somebody's listening. Okay. And who knew that they would come in first? Gabby was obviously very excited. Meant she wasn't going home this week.
Yeah, Gabby was doing really well.
And I really wasn't sure who was going to come in second, or if it was as neck and neck as they were making it seem.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
looked like it was.
But it was exciting and fun, I thought.
Yeah.
And little Lyrsa trying to lift up. But they did it.
Yeah.
She
did
and
great.
Mike did it. And so I did like that. That was a different challenge. So maybe that's what I liked about it so much. It was different.
I liked
Okay.
Angelina telling Natalie to stay calm
Yeah.
when they were behind and they were
She's
struggling.
like, me. And she's like, Natalie, stay calm.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, Angelina. She is impressive.
Yep.
Sometimes she does things that makes me think, oh, that was a mistake. But then she'll turn around and do something really good, and just putting up with Natalie. She had to go, really? Really? You had to put me back on the tribe with her? That's my luck. But she sure seems to manage it way better than I would.
Yeah, and then Orange dropped their ball to the outside of the table maze, and that was the break that Angelina and the Purple Tribe there needed. So she was able to get them on track, and then they squeezed out a win,
Yay!
sending Vuku to Tribal. Tiva gets the reward, and Jabeni doesn't have to go to Tribal Council, but they didn't get any of the sweets. Because this was a winner-take-all reward, Probst told us at the beginning.
I think Elizabeth isn't quite good with her math. She thought she had a 50-50 chance.
She just meant it was either between her or Davie
Yeah,
to
I
go.
know what she meant. But still, I didn't think she had a chance at all, quite frankly. I thought, oh no, I think you're going.
Cara
They'll
thought it
keep
was
him
pretty
for
straightforward
strength.
after that challenge too. She told us, "Hey, there's 3 Goliaths, 2 Davids. This should be very straightforward and easy."
Well, obviously she didn't find the idol because we know Davie already had it.
But
But
you're talking about when they get back to camp and Elizabeth grabs Davie and said, "Let's go hunt." I think I know
Yeah.
where it is. Yeah,
and good on him. He went right
he
along with it.
played
and
along
looked
very
and
well. Yeah,
knowing that, we're not finding anything because I already have it.
we're on to Plan B, Elizabeth. But that was probably good. I think that was very tactically smart in that it helped burn time so that she wasn't campaigning against him.
Yeah.
Right? They gave her less time to work in that regard. Mm-hmm. So it was wise to play along.
And yet he really was observing everyone. And he recognized, oh, this Goliath tribe is solid. And I thought, what do you mean you don't want to use your idol? I just assumed he would use his idol. He'd be safe. He wasn't really worried about it. But he ran right over and threw her
Elizabeth
under the bus
so fast, yeah.
I thought,
I think he backed up over.
Oh, I think I heard a splat. It was like, oh my gosh. Well, okay, he's really here to play. I'm not sure he's one of my favorite people.
What did you think
but,
about Elizabeth working on Alec?
I thought she was very smart.
I need somebody
with that
smart. Is what she told him. So that's a good opener.
Play to it. You
Right.
go, girl.
Yeah.
Well, I think she had read Natalia really well. That I don't think Natalia can hide it when she wants someone gone.
No, she's not subtle.
She
She's
can't
not
hide her expressions.
an influencer.
And so I'm
Doesn't seem
pretty
to from what we
sure
were given.
Elizabeth knew that there was no working with her, and that probably Kara would go along with her. And so, I think it was smart on Elizabeth's part. I really thought she was a goner. I didn't necessarily want that, but I sure thought she was a goner.
We see Alec waffling a little bit. He seemed to be pretty clear on the fact that flipping would end up hurting him.
And I believe it will. I'm not sure. I understand he wanted to make a big move.
Elizabeth was really playing that up too, which is what you need to do in her position.
Well, yeah, but he was aware that it could come back and bite him, and I really do think it will, but maybe not. Who knows? But I think it could trip him up because there's still so many Goliaths around.
And then it all turned. So we get a scene with Natalia talking. They're at the shelter, and she's questioning Davie. "You're with us, right? You're with us? Okay, go back to sleep then." And she's very bossy. It's like the other, it's like Natalie's here, but it's in Natalia form. So it turns out that Natalia's been bossy like this too, and it really bugged Alec. He said that she's been bullying Davie, and that annoyed him, and that he's been putting up with her acting this way for a while. So they show Natalie acting like this. They didn't show us Natalia acting like this until now.
But it's the same mistake that Jessica made. He did not feel heard. He's trying to tell them how he feels and give them alternatives, and she shuts him down. And that's what seemed to upset him the most, is I'm not being heard. They're not even giving me the courtesy of listening to me.
Right.
And
She's just telling me what to do.
exactly, she just wants to boss me around. And I thought, well, she's already told us she's got you in her pocket.
Kudos to, that's true, she did say that about him
Yeah.
before. So she didn't necessarily value him as an intellectual
That's
strategic
right.
player.
She had him. Cara had Dan, and Angelina had John. That's what the three of them said.
I like Davie when he's there in the hammock with Alec, and he asks Alec, "You trust these girls?" And then Alec pauses and then says, "No."
No, really, I don't. But I thought, why? I really didn't believe he would do that. I didn't even think it was a possibility, because now he doesn't have the numbers.
And he said it. He said, if I were to do that and Carl comes back, they have the numbers.
Well, and they do now. Okay, yeah. Maybe he really likes Davie and wants to work with Davie, and he just really wanted to stick it to Natalia.
I think Elizabeth got in his head. You need to be building a resume. You got to make these big moves. Between Probst's pep talks for them, which he always gives them at the beginning of the season, and then he tries to reinforce it at the tribal councils.
She's
and then
good.
Then Elizabeth, hitting him with this sort of prime in the pump with you need to be building a resume. They need to know when it comes to the fight. She got him thinking about endgame, which you got no business doing at this stage in the game. Anybody who starts thinking about the final tribal council before the merge is making a strategic blunder.
Okay, moving along to tribal council.
Night 11. Yep, Carl's back. He's here. He gets to listen in on tribal council because he's going to join him after someone gets voted out.
And Elizabeth, I don't know that Alec had made up his mind until after Natalia started talking at tribal. And I just really would like to know.
This is the classic overconfidence. I'm just excited to be at tribal council and to have this experience, and I'm not vulnerable and I'm in control of what's going to happen. So this is just exciting.
And I just really would like to know what he got up and went over and said to Elizabeth. Did she promise him something? Did they make some solid deal to the end? What?
So Alec had properly looked at the different angles on this decision, and he chose to do the thing that benefited him the least outside of having a big move on his resume, supposedly. But if your big move ends up being looked at as a big dumb move, not sure you did anything.
And truthfully, I would give that move to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
I wouldn't credit him with that, though she couldn't have done it without him. But I think she got in his head, like you said. But
Natalia's just beaming overconfidence the way it came through in the edit really seemed like the trigger that set him off.
Well, and Davie, I don't know if he was just playing the game or they really didn't have the threesome going in, but he's still targeting Elizabeth. She's got a really good story to tell. She got the kids. She got lots of friends.
And when Probst asked her, is Davie really coming at you hard there? She just said yes. So she didn't have much in reply, but it ends up leaving us feel like because something else is going on.
Yeah, but she reiterated her whole points to
big moves. Yeah,
big moves. Got to build a resume.
Big moves. Natalia's response wasn't wrong. It's like, yes, but when? It's all about when you make the move.
Sure. I didn't disagree, but
Elizabeth was pushing, and it seemed to be enough. She pushed Alec over the edge. So, yeah, he gets up to whisper to Elizabeth, which throws Natalia into a tailspin.
They're like, whoa, what is happening?
Natalia says, I don't like that. Yep. Alec says, I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
Well, and then he whispers to Cara, but obviously he lied, which could hurt him too, because she turned to Natalia and said, I trust him. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same, and I trust him. And I thought, oh, boy, when they get back to camp.
And Probst nicely points out that no one talked to Davie. Davie's like, no, I'm not in this one.
Well, I sure hope he has Davie or Elizabeth to cuddle with, because I don't think Cara will be keeping him warm.
Natalia evidently has had enough of it. She just says, let's go, let's vote. And Davie holds his hidden immunity idol, does not play it.
It's like, man.
So the votes come in. We get one vote for Elizabeth, one vote for Davie, and then 1, 2, 3 for
Cara.
Natalia, and she's out.
Yeah. Natalia voted Elizabeth, and Cara voted Davie.
How did they get their votes?
I don't know how they
got. That seems like Natalia must have done something at the last minute, because Cara was saying we're sticking with what the plan was.
Yeah, I don't know quite. Maybe they were going to go. I don't know what they can't really split the votes very well with. So I don't know what they were thinking, not voting together.
And we get a not so nice exchange there between Alec and Natalia. I think he was baiting her a little bit with how he said sorry. he could tell that she wasn't happy, so he just wanted
she
to
said, I knew I couldn't trust you.
poke him a little bit on the way out. Yeah.
But I thought, uh-oh. He said, I'm sorry. And then he looked at her like, what's wrong with you? It's a game. And I thought, oh, that is going to come back and bite you.
Yep, that's a boomerang that he just hucked up there in the air.
They included that for a reason.
Yeah, yeah.
And she was still, shut up. I thought, uh-oh.
Yeah, even in her last words, she said that she'd like to go hurt him. Hurt him? Yeah, hurt. I want to hurt Alec so bad, she said. So she did not end her game well. It was not sportsmanlike. She was just hurt, and she was lashing out. And she even challenged Cara on the way out, too.
Well, you know what would be really funny if he gets sent right behind her.
Next, yeah.
They have to spend another, 30 days together.
All right, so what did you think about the episode here in week 4? What's your overall?
Oh, it was very good again.
Disappointed with the whole be quit thing. 3 tribes, yeah, I'm okay with that. Interesting.
Yeah, it worked out fine.
Interesting how it worked out, and it's obviously not a given that the Goliaths are going to dominate, even though they had the majority alliance on every tribe.
Well, now they don't have the majority on one tribe.
I don't see an upside of this for Alec at all. This must be the beginning of the end for him.
I think so.
And why he ends up being so unhappy that he would be willing to violate his NDA and get himself canceled out of being at the reunion show. This seems like this could be the event that started it all. He thinks he did something significant, but that it doesn't add up. I'm not seeing it yet.
He didn't leak any kind of information or anything, did he?
Not
like
that I know
voting
of.
Order or something?
Not that I'm aware of, but these kind of things end up in that type of scenario. When you get people who are bitter, then that kind of thing can happen. It's happened in the past with castaways that were unhappy.
Yeah, but if people do that, they're not real true fans.
Well, Alec's a recruit, so yeah.
Okay. But, well, we'll see.
Despite all that, and despite the little bit of ugliness there at the end, I too enjoyed the episode. It's interesting to see the new dynamics and how this group of castaways responds. So I'm having fun and enjoying it still.
Well, and we got a double. It's basically what it is. Though, all of the people who had B going home do not get any points for that because she quit.
Yeah.
The only points awarded for
she was not voted out.
That's right, is Natalia.
Mm-hmm. Which, you end up picking Natalia. Don't know how you saw that.
No, I didn't think that was even a remote
not implying anything.
possibility.
Nope. Didn't seem like that one was necessarily in the books at all.
Yep. That would have been one of those drop it in the hat.
Plucking that one out of thin air, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, next on Survivor.
Probst tells us there's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide.
Well, Cara is not happy with Alec.
No, she tells him that he blindsided her, too. And Alec's response is, I trusted my gut. Okay.
What? Okay,
fine.
What does that say? She's like, yeah, but we had an alliance.
I don't see it ending well for him. That's just
no, I don't.
That's just a sum total of that.
That's why I didn't think he'd do it. I thought a silly move to make, but I was happy because I didn't want to see Elizabeth go home.
Yeah, and you have to have the David somehow pull a majority for him to come out of that good, because he's flipped on his alliance at this point, which is the majority.
Yeah. Well, I was a little nervous because I was trying to get a point off Cara this week too. Mm-hmm. I was trying to get a point off people I hadn't got any points off of, so I felt a little bit, more.
We'll talk
risky.
about that maybe in the JSFL. Let's finish up with next time on Survivor.
All right.
Mike tells us that Natalie has a master's in
ungracious.
Oh, ungracious. I was trying to read my handwriting. I'm like, ungraciousness. What is that? Yeah, ungraciousness. Yeah, and Natalie needs to go. God, my handwriting was really bad. I must have been going fast there.
Well, it was getting dark. We didn't turn a light on.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, because I know
Just
I
caught
was
up
like, I can't see.
in the episode.
Wow, why can't I see?
Probst tells us that a storm is brewing, and then cut to Christian, who may yet have another title of an episode. But he tells us that they're all David's now, and the Goliath is the storm up there that's coming. So it looks like another bad one's on its way.
Yep. Well, I never did actually, I don't think, see how the green teams, it was the green team that had to build
Tiva?
Shelter. Do you remember seeing it?
They didn't show it finished.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there wasn't any.
Just me?
There wasn't any cause to cut back over there. So they only worked on it the one day, right?
Yeah.
We got day 10 when they were working on their new shelter, so I doubt they finished it that day. Day 11 was the challenge, and we don't get to see them again after that because they won immunity.
Yeah, and you were like way more disappointed than I was that B quit because I really thought last week that her leg was done and that.
Well, I thought she might get voted out because she was weak, and then
I did too.
In that sense, she was in a weakened state. It didn't necessarily occur to me that she would tap out, but she did.
Well,
so,
had she known that there was going to, be a shot at, she could have been sent off to Exile Island if she'd stayed and pulled a new buff, and there's always the chance she could have gotten something, but I'm sure she just thought they were there to do the challenge and she couldn't do it.
Yeah. So. Well, that one would spook her too coming in if somehow they expected her to do the physical part of it, because it looked like there was a pretty extensive set of docks or ramps out in the water.
Well, I thought that was pretty bad just for her to be walking in the sand with a bad knee.
Did look like it was hurting her for sure. And she had a fresh, different wrap on there on day 10. So I don't think they could have assessed it out while she was out there. But she knew, because she had heard it before, what it most likely was. Yeah. But, yeah, I'm disappointed. It seems like maybe it's just because it's in hindsight, it seems like a wasted spot. And then, again, if you're not willing to...
Yeah, see, I don't feel that way.
To stick it out. Yep. We differ on our opinion there. What else do you think about the episode overall?
Oh, I think that's about it. There were a lot of people that, were under the radar. We heard virtually nothing from Lyrsa. And
other than Probst calling her out for having her hands on her hips.
Yeah. So that was about it. Nothing from Alison. A little from Angelina. But, a little bit with Dan, but not much.
The light's shining bright on Angelina. She gets very nice things. She gets credited with the takedown of Jeremy, and she gets to be the narrator for how bad, even though it was B's moment, it's Angelina that describes it for us. She's the narrator of it.
Yeah, you pointed that out many times. She's the narrator.
She's the hero with the come from behind win to beat Kara.
Yep, I think she's really courting her image, and that's wise.
How about a JSFL update?
I can do that. There are 2 people tied for first place with 19 points now. 16 people lost to their USB 24. 86 people lost a safe point for B. 11 people earned a vote-off point for Natalie. Side challengers.
Psychics out there.
The people tied in first with 16 points, Cold Mike and Jay Kindred. With 15 points, we have Brandon, Drew, Iron Dave, Jeremiah, Jonathan, Parker, and Stacy. Okay. With 14, Rodney, and with 12, James and Shannon.
All right. Keep fighting a good fight down there. You guys can do it.
They're coming up on Rodney. Better run, Rodney.
Rodney's busy. He works a lot. And he's got school.
All right. Well, a few
Who's
points.
going next?
Wow. Let me see. Well, I got a point off of Natalie, so I'm content. She can go now.
She can go now. Okay. That's what it was. You needed to get a safe point. Now she's free to go.
Oh yeah, I didn't want her to go this week. It's the first time I've had enough courage to put her safe.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, but I'm okay if I lose a point. I can live with that.
She certainly
if she'll
remains
go home.
at risk, given her choice for how to manage interactions with her fellow castaways. She also serves a purpose for Angelina. She is a shield for Angelina, even though she's irritating everyone on the tribe. They seem like a pragmatic bunch, so even as much as they would like to get rid of her, as long as they don't have to go to tribal council, that's still a good thing, too.
Well, but it's just never a good thing to be so arrogant about, hey, there's 3 of us. And I thought, but your own tribe doesn't even like you.
Yeah, she's convinced that they're Goliath strong.
This could be their opportunity to get rid of her.
They don't
And
know
then
how
they'd still be even numbers.
far Mike has already flipped.
Yeah.
He's pretty much gone.
Like,
He's given away Dan's idol, and who knows what other secrets.
Yeah, and I like what Mike does as far as I think he'd do anything to play the game. Whether he wins or not, he wants to play, and he wants to play it hard. And yet still try to stay under the radar a little bit. And with the new tribe, he knows he's got a target. So did Nick. So that was perfect for them.
I think it would actually be difficult for Mike to be above the radar. He's not an above the radar kind of guy, or in the radar, whatever the right term would be there.
Because
he's always
he's
flying
got his
under.
Hollywood tales and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's noticed, and I mean, obviously, people know he's not a stupid man. He's got a good personality, good stories, and everybody talks like he's very entertaining. So
personable.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, we're looking forward to hearing what you thought about the episode here on week 4 and your predictions for who may be going next. Which of these tribes you think is going to fall prey to tribal council in week 5? And is Gabby going to be able to work her way out of the holly hole? Or is she going to be stuck in the Gabby gallows from here on out? She's definitely got an Eeyore thing. Is there a way for Gabby to come out of this better? The voicemail line, 206-350-1547. Toll free, 844-643-8737. The email, joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. Being able to communicate is one of life's greatest skills, and we give you the opportunity to practice that every week when Survivor's airing. It's to hone your skill at communication, to be a part of our listener feedback show with all the other super fans. And we start young here on Survivor Fans Podcasts, but we're open to the whole age range, and you can always get better at communicating with your fellow humans here.
I'm just waiting for one of our listeners to get on the show.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's 38's already planned out, so I don't think it's going to happen then. It'd have to be 39.
Okay.
But they are casting right now. Yep.
That's right. They are.
In any case, we look forward to hearing from you. Feedback's due on Saturday, noon Pacific time. Keep your responses in that 3-minute range so that we can get everyone in there. We've been having some really great listener feedback shows. Super entertaining and insightful. We look forward to the next one. Anything you want to add?
Looking forward to, I might even get a vote off point once sometime.
You're planning on doing that once this season?
At least. Maybe.
As Clint Eastwood says, it's good to have a plan. Have a good one.